Good evening and welcome to the Algarve, to Portugal. Scene of so many holidaymakers throughout the year, and a magnificent place for riders to prepare for the Spring Classics. The weather in general pretty good. It's one of those nice relaxed feels about everything as well in the Tour of the Algarve, as it often is. This is the start at Lagoa, and this is Rui Costa.
É óbvio que vou querer fazer o meu melhor todos os anos quando venho ao Algarve.
It's obvious I'll try to do my best. When I came to the Algarve, I'll try and give it everything as I did last year. My goal is Paris-Nice this year, so I want to do well in Algarve, and I hope everything turns out pretty well. Of course, he won the Tour of Switzerland, so he's really on a roll.
La condition
progressive. My goal is to get to Paris-Nice
après Algarve.
Okay. First objective is Paris-Nice and after the Algarve. But there's no goal here. The goal here is to end the race in good condition, sorry. But I think I came to the Algarve. I like coming here. I've done it 2 times, second place. I'm very motivated. It's a great tour. The weather is fantastic and the stages are good. Here is Rigoberto Urán, second at the Olympics. It's a beautiful race. Well organised, the weather is great. I'm in good condition. Sky is a very strong team in the Algarve. We're expecting tomorrow's stage that we'll try and do something good. Winning the general classification is pretty difficult because the time trial is quite big. In the team, maybe Sergio, I could do a big race, a good race. This is Liwe Westra.
We will see. The team and I think myself is now good, and we will see.
What's your main objective for the season?
The goal is Paris-Nice after Algarve, and after Algarve I go training in Spain a lot, and then I hope for a good condition in Paris-Nice.
Well, he should do pretty well. Liwe Westra, he had a fantastic early season last year, really pushing Bradley Wiggins all the way. Mark Cavendish and Rui Costa.
Sou habitué das provas, sempre que posso, volto a Portugal, volto ao Algarve.
This is Ruben Faria.
Sempre que posso estou presente, tenho vários amigos aqui em várias equipas.
Whenever I go to Tour of Portugal, Algarve or Tour of France, I've got friends in different teams. Foreign team from my hometown Tavia in Algarve here. It's always very good to be here and to be with friends. They're anxious with adrenaline. It's like the beginning, like I am at the beginning of the stage of the Dakar Rally. Of course, Ruben Faria, I think he was second, wasn't he, in Paris-Dakar on motorcycles last year. Lining up at the front, Paul Martins in the leader's jersey. Missed out yesterday, did Omega Pharma Quick-Step. Will be trying to bring that back, that is for sure. 161 riders this morning, 21 degrees, you can see why they're here. Lagoa to Lagoa, 195 kilometers, heading out into the hinterland of the Algarve a little bit. Second category climb there. And quite lumpy towards the end, but it should be good enough for the sprinters to get over. It's not incredibly difficult. Sergio Paulinho will probably try and do something on the hill of the day. And just a nice relaxed feel to the Tour of the Algarve. A bit like Paris-Nice actually. I mean, it's a bit more serious Paris-Nice by the time we get there, which of course Sean and I will be covering live every day here on Eurosport, as well as Tirreno Adriatico going at the same time. I think Robbie Hatch is on duty for Tirreno Adriatico, but they get that sort of relaxed feeling. Well, some of these smaller teams, they really want to try and get into a break. Some of the bigger teams, the riders testing their legs. Usually a lot of action early on here. This is the Rio Arado Bridge, the Portimao. And the tourism people of Portugal very, very keen to get as much of their beautiful country on the box straight away. This looks like it might be a bit of a serious push towards being a break. Yeah, immediately then, and the peloton are letting it get away. It's Manuel Bayaro, I think. Bayaro, the young time trialist, who's pushed that one away. Been joined by a number of other riders. You can see the Cajarual rider. I think it's Omar Freire. Good to have Bayaro in here pushing away. Always good to have time trialists in the breakaway. Lindemann, Bert-Jan Lindemann is a big breakaway type rider. Also in this breakaway, somebody else trying to get across. Lindemann from the Vacon Soleil squad. Yep. And the riders joining up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Euskaltel Ricardo Garcia. Can see in there. And Lindemann is at the back at the moment. The Katusha rider is Dimitri Kozunchuk, by the look of it. And there's a Blanco rider in here as well. Not quite sure who it is at the moment. This is the stadium of the Algarve, the rally stadium here. Autodrome Algarve. Not unusual to have finishes in and races going through motor racing circuits. They've had it at Spa-Francorchamps. We've seen it in the Giro d'Italia in the last couple of years. Of course, the riders love it. It's not particularly exciting, but the surfaces are always really good. And at Rockingham in Northamptonshire used to have a cycle racing series around their circuit, their infield. There is Dimitri Kozunchuk of Katusha. Good news for Katusha, they must be on the up actually today, having won their Court of Appeal case, so that they can have a World Tour license. So that's pretty good for them. That'll mean, of course, that Joaquim Rodriguez will stay where he is. He won't be going anywhere else. The Colombia rider in this group looks like Espina. And let's see, Sepp van Mark is the rider from Blanco in the black and blue. Up the mountain, just sitting in there, not really too worried about it. Kozunchuk in the middle, on the far side. Ricardo Garcia of the Euskaltel squad. Bert-Jan Lindemann in the centre of the shot. Nearest to us, Thomas. I think Thomas Swift Metcalf is in here as well. The Tavia rider, British born, or should I think he was born out here actually, but British parents. I think his mother's Irish and his father's English. Nice to see him on the box. Good strong rider, got a good time trial on him. Metcalf, the leader of the race at the moment. And Blanco having to control this. They've got two purposes really, because Theo Boss wasn't too far off yesterday. They've got Paul Martins in the yellow jersey of leader, and as long as they can keep it going here, who's going to go for the Tour, the King of the Mountains points here? It's a fight between the Spanish teams and Lindemann by the look of it here. Little Colombian rider trying to hang in there. And the group nicely split. Lindemann just tucking in behind the attack by Boaro, which shows how strong he is as a rider, doesn't it? Manuel Boaro ahead of Bert-Jan Lindemann and Ricardo Garcia of the Euskaltel squad. They'll all come together on the other side. They're not too worried about it, but they're trying to push on as hard as possible here. Keep things going. All going to come back together here. Looking for a way to gain some advantage on intermediate sprints today. 3, 2 and 1 seconds are the bonuses that you get. Well, that's a fairly concerted little dig. It's the sprint into Marmalete. And Hugo Sarbido of the Aluminios Antarte squad takes 3 points ahead of Lindemann, who's having a good day actually, Bertjan Lindemann. The peloton just happy to let this breakaway go away. They've got one man in the breakaway, have Blanco and Sepp van Mark. He's not doing anything, not contributing a thing at all. A little bit of a pull for Garcia from Euskaltel. I'm just going to roll through. He'll do his turn rolling through now and again. There is Metcalf right in the middle of your shot there in the dark blue. Did ride in the British Championships a number of years ago. I think he went to college in Loughborough actually. Did sports science in Loughborough, but never really got into the whole British cycling culture thing. I think he never really got the call. Lindemann runs through. Everybody looking fairly comfortable at the moment. Not really worrying about it too much. Van Mark. There's Boyaro. Big fan of Boyaro, actually. He's a very talented rider. There's just Dmitry Kozunchuk. Started his career with the Rabobank squad. But in the Katusha lineup now, and as I say, they must be extremely happy today. Blanco on the front in the distinctive black, blue and white. Just controlling the pace. Not too worried about things. Bring it back towards the end. Much yelling going on from a fan. Go on, lad. Go on, lad. When's he going to run out of breath? That's the answer. When? Well, being a bit strung out now. Trying to get a bit of it's that point in the race where we've got 81 kilometers into the 195, about halfway through. See who can shed whom here. Try and get rid of some of these men. Metcalf leading Van Mark here. Sabido at the back. Oh! And people are now getting into trouble. Garcia being able to follow fairly well at the moment. Sabido just dropping off the pace a little bit, and Alejandro Marquepoto is trying to keep with it. Boyaro here in the shop, sitting down in the saddle, typical TT rider, just keeping it going, just rolling along very strong. That's all just power, all power. Not much little spinning going on there, and that's shows the sort of riders who are getting away. Although Ricardo Garcia, probably the better of the climbers here. We've got 2 really good time trialists. Bertjan Lindemann is a big, strong ruler type rider, and Boyaro. That's pretty steep, isn't it? Pretty steep indeed. The breakaway is at just about 8 minutes. Or was it about 8 minutes maximum, as once again, let's try and shed some bodies as we come over the top of this climb. It looks like the maximum points here are going to go to Alejandro Marque, who's off by himself now. A rider from OFM Quinta Dalixa. And that's a pretty good gap, pretty handy gap he's got over the chasing men. Garcia of Euskaltel, Boyaro of Saxo Tinkoff, there he is, Marque. Nice bit of climbing, well done. He's not the smallest of climbers, is he? Well done, Sepp, good bit of riding. goes over the top. Frightening amount of Union flags out these days, isn't there, on races all over the place. Boyaro goes over second, I think. Looks like Garcia, then Lindemann. There we are. Alejandro Marquez ahead of Manuel Boyaro and Garcia. Still some riders coming up. Here we are. Kuzunchuk, not too good at this sort of stuff. Good riding by Metcalf, right in the middle in the black. Ooh, hope he didn't take that to anybody in the peloton. Completely uninterested, disinterested. Oh, I have to stop chopping wood while the cyclists come past. Go on. Long down the saddle. Get some good fitness in their legs, these guys. That's for sure. Paris-Nice, the objective of a lot of these riders now. Some of them for the Spring Classics, some of them for Paris-Nice. We've seen that. Well, just getting the time to get some nutrition on board. Taking it nice and easy. Sepp van Mark, the man right at the front. We'll take a short break as they go through the feed station. 5 minutes the gap now for the breakaway. It's gradually being brought back. It's bound to be, isn't it? Sepp van Mark in the middle for the Blanco squad in the white, black and blue. Just going to roll through, going to soft pedal, not really going to do an awful lot because it's his team that are going to be dragging it back, as well as this team here, Omega Pharma Quick Step, because they want to try and set up something for Mark Cavendish. There is Cavendish, so get used to him in that outfit, won't we? Followed by Sylvain Chavanel. Thomas de Gent goes through. Liwe Westra. Blanco have done most of the work all day, and now they can just sit back a little bit because the big sprint train is trying to work for Mark Cavendish. They'll do most of the work bringing it back. And Blanco have sat up and said, hey, we'll let it go. Another intermediate sprint. This time won by Omar Freire of Cajarual, ahead of Hugo Sabido and Manuel Boyaro. And the rest of them rolling through. They'll be aware that the rest of the peloton is bearing down on them now. Quick Step doing the work. Interesting to see the Katusha keeping themselves up towards the front. Oh, bit of a problem. Always possible to have a bit of a tangle over tram lines and so forth. Ooh, not good. Two of them around. I think that looks a little bit like Alex Dowsett actually. You had to change your wheel there. Didn't catch a really big look of him, but looks that way. Still fairly early in the season for some of these guys. They must be feeling the long day out in the saddle, that's for sure. Sepp van Mark now pushing the peloton along. He'll be told that Omega Pharma Quick Step are upping the pace at the front. He wants to keep this breakaway away as long as possible. He'll start to work hard now, because if he can help drive the pace along, it means that Omega Pharma Quick Step have got to work an awful lot harder. The breakaway is being caught. They've got to work a lot harder, and the Blanco boys can sit back a little bit and take shelter from some of that. Nice to see. Well, Radio Shack on the front as well. That's the breakaway splitting as Boyaro is brought back. Looking well. Radio Shack in here as well for working for Giacomo Nizzolo, their young sprinter. Paul Martin's in the middle in the light yellow jersey of race leader for Blanco. The pace is pretty high at the moment. They're just jostling to try and get in there. Not super high, but it's going pretty quickly now. And Radio Shack just having the one man on the front, but doing an awful lot of work. Quick Step will be well pleased with that. 3 kilometers to go. The breakaway being mopped up. And Omega Pharma Quickstep trying to keep some sort of control on this now with Blanco. Remember, they've got the yellow jersey to defend, but I don't think that's going to be their priority, really. They've got Theo Bos, who's in fine form yesterday. Sylvain Chavanel pushing along on the front for Quickstep on the right-hand side of your screen. A quick look over the shoulder from the Blanco squad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the line on the left-hand side of your screen. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the right-hand side of your screen. Two opposing teams, two trains here, and Blanco seem to be having the edge at the moment. Here we are coming back together. Ooh, that's going to squeeze them up towards the left-hand side of the road. Oh, with a wagon there as well. Shows how good these professionals are. Tony Martin now getting on the front with teammate Chavanel and pushing in. Coming in for the sprint now. That's, well, look, that's the distinctive aero white helmet of Theo Bos at the front here. Bos of Blanco takes that. Nizzolo tries to come out from under the wheel behind, but doesn't get it. And nowhere to be seen in the top 5 for Mark Cavendish. All the work going in by Quickstep, and he's not anywhere in the shot here at all. Look, Nizzolo lunges for the line. Bos is already up. Just see where we can see if Mark Cavendish is anywhere in that shot. No, nowhere near for Cavendish. Theo Bos takes over the race lead. And he'll be pleased with that. Very good sprint. Good work by Blanco. Really good. And he takes over the race lead and gets the stage win.
The last time I was here was 2009. Was my first professional race also. And it was really difficult for me. And I couldn't finish the race. And the third day I had to go home because I couldn't finish. And yeah, now I'm back, and a really good start. Yesterday third, and today I won. So.
Boiaro gets the mountains classification, takes it over from his teammate Sergio Paulinho yesterday. Mark Cavendish, we understand, had a bit of a chain jumping problem, which is why he was so far down. He was actually 29th in the sprint. This is the special sprint jersey, Hugo Sarbido. He won in 2005, actually, overall.
Subir ao pódio com todo este
very hard,
de ciclistas que a Volta ao Algarve tem
it
este
feels like a
ano,
victory to be here, just standing on the
feito
podium.
muito positivo para a
I
equipa
don't believe I can
Algarve.
be near
Portanto, agora
overall
resta-me
victory like I
descansar
was
bem para ver
in
se amanhã consigo conservar esta camisola e assim
2005.
subir mais dia ao pódio, porque
When the world
passa
teams
por aí
arrive in
agora os
Portugal,
nossos
they're
objetivos.
already
Isto
very
porque
fit.
é muito complicado repetir o feito de 2005.
They've done other races
porque as equipas do World Tour já
and
chegam
riders
muito
like
rodadas
us.
aqui. E para nós é muito complicado
We're only
fazer essa
at the
diferença como
beginning
eles
of our season, and it's very hard for us. So yeah. Theo Bos takes over the overall classification then, ahead of teammate Paul Martins at 4 seconds, then Giacomo Nizzolo at 8. Diego Machado of Radio Shack is 4th overall at the moment. So yep, Theo Bos, who's pretty accurate and pretty honest about his performances, and when he's come here before. First professional race was here in Algarve, and he couldn't get over a postage stamp, frankly. Well, we'll be back tomorrow for stage 3 highlights and then a final time trial on stage 4. Good racing today. Well done to Theo Bos.